Control initialized.
Hello there, comrades and cannon fodder. It's Dvoid here, and I'm testing out a map, Lucky Island 2 vs 2, and this is by a map maker, goes by J Megatank, I think, and there's a lot of really nice maps that I like that this guy's actually made, and this one has got these two corners spawn points, and the first version of this map was a 1 vs 1, and you start here with one spawn point and there's another spawn point here, and that means when you start you build your usual power plant and barracks, but you've got 2 oil derricks to capture, 2 advanced power plants, a hospital, a forward command centre, a service depot, another forward command centre, and a communication centre, as well as a small power plant, standard one, but there's also an anti-aircraft gun in the top corner and in the bottom corner here. Now, those forward commands give you build radius so that you can build a naval yard here or base defences here to protect all this, etc., without moving your construction yard, because this allows you to build naval yards here or sub-pens from this position. So if you were to move it down here, you probably wouldn't be able to. But I immediately thought that if people were to use this for a skirmish map, there's no use having one AI only starting here. It won't do anything. It'll build a few helipads and maybe a sub-pen at most. So that's why I've chosen to go on the 2 vs 2 map, so that I spawn here with France, and I've got a naval AI using Germany here, and I've got a naval AI using Germany here as well, and there's a Rush AI using England here. I let the computer randomly select the factions for my opponents, but we've got a German, and an English faction, AI factions, against a France. So there's no Soviets here, sadly, but it was random. That's how it turned out. But this naval AI favours naval units, obviously. That's what it's set to do, and he's immediately produced 2 gunboats from a naval yard. He's built that straight away. Now the AI won't capture this lot, sadly. There's no specific way that they've made them capture this for the AI on this map. They haven't done anything in that sense, but just making it an AI favoured AI, a naval favoured AI, means that they'll produce naval units, and at least it'll be, you know, of some threat. And this is a Rush AI. I nearly chose a turtle so that they would produce super weapons, harvest and base defences and stuff, but I thought it'd be better to have an aggressive enemy here. And this is a naval AI, obviously, so that I'm hoping they'll build naval units to engage me. And these 4 gunboats are attacking my harvesters, so the AI has engaged first. And these gunboats, a couple of them are firing, and they actually are doing respectable damage against this heavy armour. Now, I saw a gunboat take on an artillery piece and come off worse, and those artilleries are so weak. But it just probably means that there's no light armor bonus or something to their weapons, but they seem to be doing damage to heavy armor effectively. An ore truck is the same strength as a heavy tank, so it's not too bad for a little gunboat, but I've moved this infantry just to chop them up, get them sunk to the bottom. So there's a group of 5 AI gunboats done for. And I've got this forward command down here so I can place a naval yard without moving my construction yard yet again. Now there are 2 turrets defending the shoreline, which is handy. And I've captured an oil derrick. I've captured an oil derrick up here, but I haven't gone, and I've captured a hospital. I'm in the process of doing that now. But I'm not going to get my engineer to capture all of these oil derricks, which are an extra hospital, because I could do, but I want to keep the oil derrick income as close to how it would be in a multiplayer game. If you get what I mean. I don't want to have tons of income, and it's just not going to be like that in a normal multiplayer game. I'll get an equal share of the oil derricks at most, and that's at most. I may only just take 1 sometimes in a skirmish, just so I'm not having the income confused with, you know, say I'm using a certain build order and I capture 10 oil derricks, I'm going to think that build order works great, but without those 10 oil derricks it might not. for example. That's all I mean. So in skirmish games, I don't capture any more oil derricks than I would in a real 1v1. Now, I could obviously do really well and take all the oil derricks in a 1v1, but that's not common. You don't expect that. So I just go as standard and take the minimum or my fair share of oil derricks and leave it at that, just so I'm not getting confused income information. Now I'm producing spies and engineers. I've got some light tanks, artillery train being built now. I'm sending a small infantry group as well. I've got a ranger, and I have scouted with rifles to see what the enemy have got here. I've got a few rifles into their base. But this faction, they're producing helicopters. They're Black Hawks by the look. That's a Black Hawk. And so he's been attacking ore trucks, I think. Just like they've got a destroyer now here. They've got a gunboat guarding their naval yard, but they've brought a destroyer and a gunboat. And he's out of range of my infantry and turret, sadly. And they're the rockets of a destroyer. They will shoot down aircraft or surface targets. Now, they got a bit too close then. When they killed an infantryman, they moved in. So when they kill the rocket soldier, he may move in. Yeah, it'll be on an attack move or something. That's a sub-detection radius, the circle, I'm guessing, because they fire depth charges at submarines and missiles at surface targets. But as soon as he comes into range of my turret, he's doomed. And there's a Black Hawk coming from this Naval AI as well. So there's a Black Hawk from the other Naval AI. They're targeting my ore trucks, both of them. And I've got my naval yard. And there's a destroyer on his way. He's targeting with an attack move against my naval yard. Here's another helicopter, and they are building base defences at the front of their territory. And they're building a fair few helipads. And they're churning out aircraft. I mean, ships as well, look. There's destroyers coming here. I need to repair the turret. He's gonna... Yeah, he's just survived, but if I don't get to him and spot him and repair it quickly, it's doomed. And I am building here, so I should... I'm obviously distracted. And the AAA gun has shot down a Black Hawk. Plop. And that gunboat can't take on a destroyer. And I've attacked here... I've got my spies, engineer, artillery, here we go. Yeah, I can deal with light tanks, no problem. I just don't want the artillery doing too much damage, so I'll be using my light tank to go and find it. Because I think I've chopped through most of their army. These are firing blind. Like, this is what I can see, that's why I've used him. Because I think I've destroyed the army, so I've moved up. They are excellent for hunting MCVs and artillery, those light tanks, they're excellent. But the enemy is applying pressure here with helicopters and destroyers, look. And when your ships are damaged badly, you can repair them at the naval yard. Now, he's just lost another air unit to my AA defences. But here we go, we've got a cruiser shelling my troops. And there is a force of like 5 gunboats, a destroyer and a cruiser. Now the range on that cruiser is lethal. It can bombard all my units. I'm lucky it only took a couple of pot shots as it flew by. But here we are. I just want to look at the economy of this. It's the Rush AI, and they're very poor. So my spies, at least they are actually going to be useful, because I think I've sent one to infiltrate. That's no use because he didn't have any cash. But these two guys are going to get into the war factory and into the barracks. And once they're in the war factory and barracks, I will train tanks and infantry as veterans. There you go. I've infiltrated the war factory, and he shot me before I reached the barracks. But my vehicles will be produced as veterans. Look, you see that medium tank's just come out. He's got the veteran rank because my spy got into their war factory. It looks like... Yeah, I'm still producing naval units, and I've ordered them up this way, but if they do, they're going to run into a fleet, the enemy fleet, the German naval fleet. And I've captured this base, the enemy are done for. I've just got to screen my artillery and kill them. I've got a couple of Black Hawks spotting for me, some tanks. But I don't want these cruisers moving past and firing pot shots. Now this cruiser of mine is going to run into a fleet that's going to destroy it unless I can notice. You see, the destroyers should be escorting it. And they are, but it looks like they're going to be too late. Now my cruiser's firing. Oh, it blew that gunboat out of the water nicely. Can it protect itself? There's another gunboat. Now my cruiser's at half health. Nearly dead. He's still alive. It's a destroyer. Enemy destroyer. That's nice. It's going to buy it now. This gunboat's going to finish it. It's gone. That's a shame. I've got a veteran gunboat. And we're being attacked by gunboats from the other side as well, by the other Naval AI. 2 German navies attacking me. And air forces. I need to get my ground units supporting my naval units because I haven't got enough. And now I'm building Apaches. They will start to deal with the enemy naval units. And yeah, look, there's a constant flow of back and forth of air units and naval units. But I'm not wiping all this lot out because I want to capture it. And army values, I'm far way ahead. One army's got a 0, one AI, the Rush AI actually, he's got no army, I've overrun him. Whereas the 2 German naval AIs, one's got 11,000, one's got 6,000 army value, and it looks like my naval yard's been damaged to halfway. And he's escaped. Need to check some support powers as well, actually, because we've got 1, 2, 3 satellites ready to launch, 1 counting down, and we've got 3 nuclear missiles. None of them are mine. That's not good. There's one of them. Right, well, I'll either need to capture that or destroy it, because I don't want it launching on me. Has he got any power, though? No, it's not working anyway, so I don't have to worry about that one. Yeah, his power plants are all gone. There's no hope. Crashed Apache, destroyed one of their service depots. And these are Black Hawks, but Apaches can target other air units, which is a very handy ability. Look, the helicopter crashes do a nice bit of damage. Even the AI will hover over your units if they can't reload the helicopters, so that when you shoot them down, they land on you. Ouch. That one's a nice explosion. Here we go, there's some engineers. We're on the capture. Capturing tech center. These guys will be on shift orders for capturing, I'm guessing. And the enemy's built a cruiser over there. I'm knocking out the helicopters nicely. My AA defences are doing fine down there. Here's some captures. We've got the tech centre, construction yard, ore refinery. Another refinery. The enemy haven't got any cash worth bothering with. None of them. I've got a spy. I should use it to get veteran units if I think of it. Hopefully I do. Even capturing the gap generator and the war factory. Oh, yeah, that's an Apache longbow. I'm building up a helicopter force here. Need to check support powers. I don't want to miss one nuke. This one has been taken out of the picture. Should have captured it myself. I think it's possible I went on attack move and they are on the defense structure tab. nuclear missiles, chronospheres, iron curtains, so it's possible they are treated as a defence structure with attack moves and destroyed. I could be wrong about that, maybe. Oh no, the helicopter landed on it, if I remember right. That's what happened. Just, they keep doing that, they're doing a lot of damage. These guys, to their own teammate and to me now, because I've captured everything except that structure. And let's just see, I don't think they've got any means of income, so they are repairing, so they're actually losing money. But by keeping that alive, I'm not gaining anything. And it looks like there's not much time left for one of those nukes, and it's the light red player. So this is the dark red player down here, and look at his cruisers. They've knocked out my defences. It looks like I might even be in low power. But we've got 15 seconds till one nuke goes off. Look at those cruisers. Yes, I'm back in normal power mode. And I've brought some longbow patches. Oh, there's my cruisers. Yes, aircraft taking out the cruiser, sunk it. My ground forces defending that have taken it out. These cruisers defending themselves. Right, now, this is a nuke, so... And I've got a helicopter attacks destroying ore trucks here. You see how effective the longbows are at taking out your ore trucks. They're lethal. They can just destroy the enemy's entire economy by destroying their ore trucks very quickly. You do a tour with... this nuke's its launch, look. So, it's being launched here. And I'm telling all my forces to get out of their bases. I'm not sure where it's going to land. But I don't think many of these guys are going to escape. And I've got a lot of advanced units there. Ouch. Yeah, luckily those vehicles survived. I've got a mobile gap generator and a radar jammer and stuff, so, you know, it's, they're important structures. Look, they're lethal, they've cleared out my expansion. And there's a cruiser sat there, another cruiser. These are proving to be a pain. And my cruisers, there's a missile silo. And they've got a shift command to attack that, something next to it, and then this. But because the shroud is in the way, they think that advanced power plant is still there. So their shift command to destroy that, then that, they can't obey it. Because they don't know that the first target's been destroyed. So I need to pick targets myself. Look, I've put them in low power, so that should stop counting down. And look, we've got a cruiser attacking. He'll make short work of my units if I don't find out what he's... spot that. Yes, I'm moving them, but he's got more forces to attack. We've got destroyers, helicopters, and a cruiser attacking my 3 cruisers. They're doomed. I'm going to at least lose 2. Nice shelling in return. It's actually quite good, this. Nice mix of units. It's quite fun. I remember I was playing... There you go, crashing air units. Like, I remember thinking I wasn't expecting this. So, such a diverse naval combat. You know, there's even ground units involved, look, trying to pick off these cruisers. So it was more, like I say, more hectic and fun than I expected this. And it's partly down to the map, how well it's made, and the fact that you can place... And when I saw the first, you can place AIs in 3 places, or human opponents. But when I first played the 1v1 version of this, where you only spawn points were in these 2 corners, this one and up there, I thought it's needed where to have a spawn point here for those who want to play a skirmish game, because there's no point in using the map as it was 1v1. As a skirmish game, you'll get very little out of it. One of these means a few helicopters and a few boats every now and then. Imagine this one AI player on its own. It wouldn't be a threat. It would probably be, you know, it wouldn't be very good. But with 2 of them and a rush AI, you end up with a fun game. And, you know, look, there's still combat here. We've got a Black Hawk and an Apache. And I've taken the rush AI out of the equation. There may be... yeah, they've got that refinery left, but that's all. And I've only left that for some infiltrations, but obviously I've forgotten about it. And they've built another naval yard, and look, long-range shelling from that cruiser. Some nice shots. We've got some long-range shells being flung around by these cruisers. Look, long-distance shelling. Spotting from helicopters, just like you do. And he's hovering over my cruiser so that when it gets shot down, it lands on my cruiser. That's what he's doing. He's trying to. But that's what he was doing. You see, it's on a command to stick with that cruiser. Luckily, I told the cruiser to move. Look at that. Yeah, the long-distance shelling with aircraft to spot for them while your cruisers stay out of combat range. Your aircraft can spot for them, like, so they can stay out of trouble but shell the enemy. And then you've got your destroyers to protect the cruisers when aircraft come in. You've got gunboats to harass all the enemy's naval yards and their units, as well as shore emplacements. Yeah, it turned out to be quite fun, this. But I quickly realised I've got to build up an air force and stop them dropping nukes on me repeatedly. And here we are with the dark red player. This one is about to launch his nuke here. This missile silo is about to launch. There, I was too late. And I was here ready to knock it out. But he's dropping his nuke here. And yeah, I'm ordering some units away, but not very effectively. That's going to do a lot of damage. And I've got my chronosphere there. That's far enough away to survive. There you go. He blew up my construction yard. Power plant or two. That was effective. Very effective. And now I've done some damage here. I destroyed his construction yard. Power plant or two. So this is resetting the counter. He is in low power, so that atom bomb isn't counting down. But the other one is. The light red player is. Now we've got a cruiser taking on 2 destroyers. He's shelling my shore defences because I'll be in low power, I'm guessing. Yes, very badly. And I've got loads of tanks. I shouldn't have built all these units. You see all this infantry in these tanks. I shouldn't have built them and trained them, because even the ones I did have, I didn't make use of. I could have used the radar jammers to protect my expansions from the longbows, because the longbows try and fire at these, the missiles just miss because the radar jammers. So I could have made better use of those, even though I only had one or something. I could have made better use of it, used it to protect a refinery, because I saw those longbows attacking. And the enemy's built a cruiser just in time before his naval yard was destroyed. And it can't take on destroyers. They're not made for fighting point blank anyway, cruisers. They can't fire at targets point blank next to them anyway. They have to back away a bit and shell the targets, but they're not effective like that. You're better off spotting with air units and firing from the shroud against your enemy. But here we are, look. These helicopters. Look, there's 4. That's a Black Hawk, but there's 4. That's another Black Hawk. You know, 4 helicopters, and look what is here. And they're destroying my construction yard. That's not good at all. Now, my other construction yard was destroyed by a nuclear missile, don't forget. And I'm busy trying to work my way through this lot. Still, I'm at low power. And there, look, I haven't noticed, and look how low it is, and I'm betting you these guys are on the way. So, there we go, I'm building, I saw it. I remember seeing it because I placed that, but I couldn't save it. Now, I've got a service depot and a war factory. If one of those buildings had been destroyed by the first nuke and I hadn't replaced it because of my low power, it would be over pretty much, because I'd have to keep using longbows and these, but any that I lost, I wouldn't have been able to replace. Now, here's my chronosphere. That messed it up, because the other 4 vehicles couldn't land there, so I blew the first one, and I'm checking out where his silo is. And I've got a cruiser shelling his base, but luckily it's escaped. Now, I've moved these destroyers in to protect it. But that was my first attempt at the chronosphere, and this player is in low power. So look, there you go, shelling. Some nice heavy shelling. Get rid of these, I want rid of these helipads and his power. But the nukes were the prime threat. To be fair, that was what I kept like worrying about. And that's what these helicopters are for, to deal with the nukes. So look at all these Apaches I've got now. And there's a destroyer taking on the turret, and we know how that goes. Plus, I've got another destroyer. Nice. Yeah, I've got some ships moving in. Yeah, he's got a good harvesting operation, look. Very impressive. They'll shoot that down, surely. Why are they not shooting? Oh, they've been told to attack. What a shame. They're letting helicopters over because I've done that. You see, it's another case of them being told to attack targets, and that's not there anymore, but they don't know that. They can't move on to the next target because the shroud won't reveal what's actually there. I'd need to send a helicopter in, and then they would switch to the next target. We're all in normal power mode. And I've got a nuclear missile of my own, and a chronosphere is ticking down again. I've got a GPS satellite. Ouch, there was a hit. It's landed here, look. Another strike. Ouch. I didn't even see that one coming. And you see, look, I'm trying to produce, what do you call it? These, I've just built 2 construction yards, luckily. So I'll replace them. But I'm bringing my forces to the other side now, because these guys... Oh no, look, he's replaced his construction yard. Yeah, I have, you know, I'm obviously struggling to deal with these guys. I've got 2 nukes counting down again. Here's a chronosphere. I moved in 5 tanks, going to check out what's going on. Find a relevant target, if possible in time. So these are easy to destroy. But the tanks will be gone. It's a scouting mission, basically, because I don't want to lose these to anti-aircraft guns. And he's got quite a few. He's actually got 2 in a very good place there, look. That's so I can't approach from there. 1 is about to get shot if I don't. You see, I've got to avoid this circle. There, shot the helicopter on the airfield, on the helipad. Now I'm looking for useful targets. Right, I'm under fire, so I've lost 1, but he landed on that at least. Destroying the missile silo. Now, when they run out of missiles, they moved straight for the helipad, but that sends them over an enemy AA gun, so I have to keep moving them away. And now they're in low power. So you've got to dodge that circle. But they're in low power, so it doesn't matter now, but still, it's... You know, you've got to watch it. They might come back into full power mode at any moment, so even if an anti-aircraft gun is in low power mode, don't send your helicopters over it and think you're safe, because anything could happen. My cruisers here might destroy this, and then they're back in full power with all my helicopters directly above an AA gun, and you don't want that, so even in low power mode, avoid these AA guns. See, he's just switched back onto full power. You got to watch them. But they're moving more. They've been sending forces this way, but for some reason they're going back. They're probably back to help their own base, because they're under attack. And here, look, he's caught my naval yards defenceless. I am repairing, but they're defenceless. There's a longbow. Yeah, in big trouble here. And here's my 2 Apaches, 4 Apaches moving in now. Shot down 1 helicopter. And I've produced a destroyer, but this cruiser, yes, he destroyed it before it got another shot off. That was lethal. Yeah, the missiles from those longbows are one of the best anti-armor weapons in the whole game. Very effective. And mobile radar jammers are an excellent way to combat them if you have them at with your crucial targets. And use them if you have to, because say they're targeting your ore trucks, you have to protect your ore trucks with your radar jammers. But anything protected by a radar jammer cannot be harmed by a longbow. Now look, cruiser shelling my destroyers at long distance. Now the longbow Apaches are on it. He's on fire. Oh, nice firing back. Very nice. Those cruisers are far from defenceless. As long as they keep moving, they're a threat. and I need that repairing. He is repairing, but slowly, and the atom bombs are counting down. One's got 3 minutes 20, and mine, I left it on low power mode and forgot about it. Look, it's in low power mode, because I was in such a bad situation, and I left it there for a while. I'm at a 91,000 army value. So, I wonder how many Apaches, longbow Apaches I've got. But there you go, there's his nuclear missile silo, I've destroyed it. There's his power plants being wiped out, more power plants. And then, as long as he's in low power, it'll take him ages to build a helicopter or a ship. So, in that case, I can keep him in low power and there'll be less of a threat. Long distance shelling, he's going to take out my naval yard, but I've got these to defend it. I just need to have my wits about me and see. I've lost it, look, it's gone. With lethal shells, long distance, and I'm still not aware. They could probably kill them. Those shells do a lot of damage to those 4 destroyers grouped together. But I've got, yeah, there's the chronosphere doing a bit of damage. And here's my navy offshore of the bright red AI colour player, and these guys look like they're trying to harass a harvester, an ore truck. These guys have been neglected. Now there you go, that's more like it. Get them moving out, they'll take out these 2 cruisers, no problem. Cruisers can't really hit moving targets like that. As long as you actually micro them, you can crush cruisers easy with destroyers. There's one down. Now if that cruiser fires again, it's going to be a problem. Need to get closer. See, it can't fire, it's too close. Shouldn't have moved in there, should it? Firing back now. Look at the damage they do. At least they can't kill a destroyer in one salvo, in one broadside. They need more than one, which is good. But you have to support your cruisers. They need destroyers with them, preferably gunboats as well, to scout and screen and tell you where the enemy is, because gunboats will fight submarines as well. But yeah, you know, you have to, there's all the elements are available at the naval level as well, and that's with aircraft to spot for your cruisers, so your cruisers aren't in danger when they fire, and use destroyers to protect them close up, and gunboats further away. So it's like a fleet with all the elements, and then advance like that. Use your helicopters to spot and fire with your cruisers from the shroud where the enemy can't see you. And then if the cruisers are attacked, you've got destroyers to protect them and gunboats to warn you. You know, it is a fairly fun system. There is enough, you know, especially if it's Soviets and Allies mixed. You know, it would have been interesting to have some submarines in this. If one of these, excuse me, if one of these corner factions was Soviets, it would have been interesting. Missile subs and submarines. But here's a chronosphere. I'm going for power plants. And we've got a nuke on the way. And this is trouble. That's gonna... Oh, yeah, there's my chronosphere, look. And there's the nuke. Hits again, and it's taken out refinery and the ore truck with it. My war factory survived. Everything else. And look at my Apaches. There, he's in low power now. There goes his construction yard. I want rid of the missile silo. There's his naval yard. Another power plant. And as long as the power plant powers down, he can't recharge his missile silo. So that's just as an effective strategy. You can soon reload and then take that out. Because power stops everything else as well. You can't produce buildings as quickly. You can't build them as quickly. You can't build units as quickly. Everything. And I've got a small stream of choppers taking on these power plants. Support power situation. Now my nuke's counting down. And this is the only AI player with a nuke silo now, and it's low power, and my navy's attacking it. Onshore shelling. And my Apaches are there, still going for the power, and there is... Oh, nice, I shot down that Apache, okay. Base defences. But his power plant's gone, and I'm the only player with a nuke now. And it looks like I've crippled the enemy, although he has got a service depot and a war factory, so I'm guessing that we're going to see an MCV being built. Black Hawk, MCV. Yep, so he's going to have another construction yard soon, if I allow him to. And I've got, you know, I've taken a lot of damage. I haven't repaired that yet. I've got these forces at least to protect from this flow of helicopters if they come this way at all. 105,000 army value I've got. So I'll check the numbers of Apaches now. 24, I think it is. I think it's 24. So yeah, there's plenty there. And I've replaced my naval yards, but he's got an Apache attacking my power plants. But I've got another naval yard set, 3 of them, pumping ships out. And I've got a massive air force now. The enemy are doomed. I've got 10 destroyers, 24 longbow Apaches, 109,000 army value. But I'm fed up of having nukes dropped on me. So this is to finish the enemy, and I'm looking for worthwhile targets. And there you go, his power plant, his construction yard. And the cheeky bugger had a service depot and war factory, so they need taking out next, so he can't replace his con yard. He can't now, but I'm still not going to finish it, just make sure. And he's got no power for his only anti-aircraft gun there to fire back, so that's useless. But I know I said don't let them sit there like that, even if it is low power, but he's got no power plants, and they won't capture these neutral ones. They've not got it in them, the AI. It's a shame, but they've not got it in them. And there you go, look, there's a Black Hawk chipping away. He's just out of range of my AA gun. Now, I would pack that up and put it here, and your problems are solved. And my destroyers would protect it as well, and my cruisers. Look at that. They're having a laugh. But I'm going through the helipads here. There's a chronosphere. Teleport in 5 tanks. Because I'm France, you only get to teleport 5 tanks, and after the white bar counts down, they teleport back. But with the Germans, the advanced chronosphere, you can teleport 13 vehicles. So you can teleport like 5 artillery pieces and say 8 tanks, medium tanks, and drop that here, and you can destroy any important structure just about with that before they have to teleport back. You know, with 5 artillery pieces, they're going to get a few nice shots off along with the tanks against, say, a construction yard, missile silo, and the chronosphere counts down quickly. So as long as you've got the vehicles to keep using with it, you're laughing, because the enemy will never know where you're going to crop up. And you can teleport ships and things as well. I think you could teleport a ship onto land and it'd blow it up. You can teleport enemy units, and now he's run out of ammo. He's sitting over my cruiser, so that if I shoot it down, it falls on it, it lands on it. You see, so that is a nice little tactic the AI is using. He's not even reloading, look, and he could do. And here we've got my air force is moving against this enemy now. 29, 30 Apaches. So I'm going to pick my targets. Nothing can stop me. There you go. So he can't build construction yards if he builds anything, if he has a war factory. Yeah, going for the helipads. Get rid of them, and then there's no more helicopters, and he's got no naval yard, it's gone. So power next, and it's done. He's done for. It's just a matter of clearing up with that opponent. Now this player he's got helipads, so he's not quite done. About 2 minutes and 40 seconds and I could drop a nuke. Look, that Apache's still there. He's not happy. He wants to get shot down. Yeah, he's staying with my cruiser, look. Interesting. Now, these guys are doomed. They're beaten. Oh yeah, look, it looks like there was a chronosphere going here, and I've got a phase transport. They're the invisible APCs. Now, they have missile pods on top. It's like a destroyer, the phase transport. They have the same sort of weapon as a destroyer. They are very good units, but it's not their weapon that's their main, like, best feature. The best thing about the phase transports is that they transport infantry and they're invisible. So they're the perfect companion to Tanya. So I'll put like 2 or 3 medics in one of them, Tanya and whatever else, say, I don't know, a rifleman, or maybe just another, a mechanic or something. I don't know, so much useful, but put a Tanya in a phase transport, and then she can, in her invisible transport, get dropped off next to a war factory or a construction yard, and the enemy can't see you coming. So they'd have to lace the area with base defences to spot you. Tesla coils and stuff, and you do have to get fairly close to be seen by them. But here you go, there's my Apaches moving in, targeting helipads. And now I've got helicopters around, they might shoot this down. Yeah. 2 more helipads still. And what have we got here? Oh, there's a big navy queuing up to attack. Loads of destroyers. And a cruiser also. Yeah, a cruiser in there, at least one. Yep, look at all those Apaches making easy work. And I have, it looks like 33, 35, 33, I can't quite tell. See, look how good the range is on the cruiser. One of the best, most long-range units there are. And there's another chronosphere with the phase transport and 4 medium tanks. They're veterans now, because I'm using the same force. There you go. They're beaten. That Naval AI 2 is beaten, so I can transfer my entire army over here. And what about? It's ready. We've got a nuclear missile. So, that is the only possible target. And look at those shells coming in. There's 2 cruisers there. That's a lot of, like, shells. They're like fire, like 4 artillery shells each or something or more. It's very nice. Yeah, it looks like 4. It's probably the same as 4 artillery rounds each salvo. But here you go. I've dropped my nuke. Helicopters are spotting, and the nuke is gonna wipe this lot out. Here we are, it's on its way. Put your blast shields down. There you go. Wiped out those 4 refineries, very effective. And now we have a single lone enemy structure left. And that's their radar dome, and my massive air force has finished it. And there you go. That was a bit of a marathon. And it was a 43-minute struggle, that one, against the AI. But I just thought, like I say, I wanted to test out a couple of naval opponents, AIs, and a rush AI with them, just because I like the way this map is. The map itself I like, even for 1v1 games. But I do like I do like this for AI skirmish battles as well. It's quite a fun game, and some players prefer skirmish games. You know, some players just like that. So I'd highly recommend this one. It's a really nice map for skirmish games, and you could change it up. You could have turtle AIs, so they're very hard to break, and they'd use super weapons on you, and you'd have to practice at taking out their defences and power and all sorts, and you could use so many more tactics and skills and units than I just used. I could have used naval transports to send spies and things among the enemy base, get some veteran helicopters produced by getting a spy into their helipad, things like that, you know, was some very interesting, useful things. I could have captured some of these structures and stuff, you know. It's there was a lot of options I had, but I just wanted to go with one choice and deal with them, and that was the air units, because it could also stop them launching nukes now and then. But the army graph won't tell us much, because this is the end of, like, that's from 24 odd minutes, so, you know, look at that. I don't have an army. But there's the earnings, and I was doing well at one point. My finishing army is massive. 18 destroyers, like 35 longbows, roughly 33, 6 cruisers, some phase transports, a mobile gap generator, 29 medium tanks, a couple of rangers. I've even got Tanya, 10 engineers, some medics, rifles and rockets. And the combat chart, I killed 314 units, Rush AI killed 35, Naval AI killed 158, Naval AI 2 killed 65, and I killed 113 buildings. Rush AI killed none, Naval AI 1 killed 13 structures, Naval AI 2 killed 15 structures. So that's quite nice. I lost 25 structures in all, but I've got 162,000 army value. That's ridiculous. I destroyed 423,000 in enemy assets. The Rush AI destroyed 7,000. The Naval AI 1 destroyed 77,000. Naval AI 2 destroyed 50,000. Poor Rush AI didn't stand a chance. Support powers, I've got my nuke counting down. My satellite, which I launched once or twice, is ready again. And I've got my chrono shift. Production, I'm still building. Helicopters will be on loop. Economy, I earn 351,000. Rush AI earned 37,000. Naval AI 1 earned 206,000. Naval AI 2 earned 225,000. Very, very nice. I've got 8 ore trucks and 16 grand left. Right, basics. I'm at 28 actions per minute. Look at the AI. Very, very slow. Like 8 orders a minute was its best for one player. 5 orders and 3 orders a minute. Right, okay. But there you go. There's all the basic stats and graphs, and a bit of skirmish fun for you. If you like what you saw, give us a sub and a like, and take good care of yourselves. And until next time, goodbye.
Battle control terminated.